You're feeling a little dehydrated, skin's looking a little dull, flat, and 2D, and all the moisture has evaporated from your face like a shriveled prune. Well, let's change that, shall we? The thing is, I might know a thing or two about having thirsty, parched skin. We're gonna go over some surprising but simple ways you can take your current skincare routine and make your skin go from dehydrated to bursting with hydration. Pew, 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 pew. Hello beauties, welcome back to Beauty Within, where we chat all things skincare, self-care, and healthy living to find our beauty within. As you guys know, we never get tired of telling you that hydration is the cure to basically all skin concerns. It seems a little too simple, right? But it's just the simple truth. Be it hyperpigmentation, uneven texture or tones, acne, self-made combination skin, we can always tie it back to a form of lack of hydration. So let's break down what a basic routine looks like and what each step is potentially adding to the hydration levels, and then what additional tips and products we can use to elevate and optimize for hydration. Hopefully this will give you guys more perspective on different ways you can do this instead of just hearing the same add hyaluronic acid to your routine. Thank you so much to Neogen for sponsoring this video so we can share with you our best tips for dry and dehydrated skin. Let's talk about a basic routine for dry, dehydrated skin. So the first step for any routine, no matter what skin type you have, is cleansing. So when it comes to cleansing, I'd highly recommend a gentle gel cleanser or a milky cleanser like Sioris's Clean Me Softly Milk Cleanser. It has this beautiful milky texture that glides so nicely across your skin and washes off so beautifully. Another cleanser is the Ordinary Squalane cleanser. Squalane is the stable version of squalene, which is found in our sebum to moisturize our skin. And if you have dry skin to begin with, oil cleansers and just cleansers with more emollient ingredients will really help nourish the skin and prep your skin for the steps to come. So the reason why I generally reach for milky cleansers or gel type cleansers, even oil cleansers, is that our skin is already dry and lacking in natural oils that people with oily skin types may be producing a little too much of. So for them, foaming cleansers are great to help control the sebum and control the oil. And the reason why gentle cleansers exist is that they want to leave your skin feeling nourished and cleansed without it being stripped at all. So no matter what skin type you have, anyone can benefit from a gentle gel cleanser or even milky type cleansers. The next step of our routine is toner. So having a very hydrating toner will allow you to help you dampen your skin so that the serums and the moisturizers that you put on top of it will be able to nicely seal everything in. So a few toners that are great for people with drier skin, it's Pyunkang Essence Toner. The main ingredient is the milk vect root, which is rich in antioxidants and has anti-inflammatory properties. But overall, as a toner itself, it really focuses on hydration. It is one of the first textures that both Fella and I fell in love with, just the goopier type of toners that are just as absorbent and sinks beautiful into your skin. Next is Benton's Deep Green Tea Toner. Green tea as an ingredient, you guys know, is my ride or die. It's packed with antioxidants and it's also very calming for any skin type. And lastly, we have Isntrie's Hyaluronic Acid Toner Plus that has 5 different molecular weighted hyaluronic acid. So there's the bigger sizes, the smaller sizes, they travel to different depths of your skin. So again, the damper your skin is, the easier the serums and the other products that you apply afterwards will absorb into your skin. And then when you seal it all in with the very rich and dense and thick moisturizer, it's just the recipe for success for those with dry skin. So as we just mentioned, thick, rich, heavy emollient creams are the way to go. If you've ever tried more gel type water-based creams before, you may have had the same experience for me where you realize a few hours after you apply the moisturizer that your skin's already getting tight around your eyes and just across your cheeks. This is my telltale sign that the moisturizer I just applied may not be hydrating enough for me. So 3 products I recommend. The first is Biossance Omega Repair Cream. It's filled with lipids, squalane, omega fatty acids, and it has this beautiful whipped texture. And if I apply it at night, I wake up still feeling so moisturized and my skin does not feel dry or tight at all. Next is Purito's Deep Sea Water Cream. So the Deep Sea Water Cream is known for having the deep sea water, which is very rich in vitamins and nutrients. Although it is a water cream, because it does have a lot of nourishing oils, it's still great for people people with drier skin type. But that being said, I recommend using this more in the warmer months. I think for winters, you probably need a thicker cream. And the last moisturizer is Make Prem Safe Me Relief Moisture Cream. It's a very basic friend, but it's so reliable and it is your go-to. It'll be there for you no matter if it's rain or shine, to comfort you, to protect you, to make you feel safe. So for most people, moisturizing will be the last step of their routine. For us who have drier, more dehydrated skin types, oils are great. They're occlusives to help seal all the hydration and prevents transepidermal water loss. And if we have drier skin, that is the #1 bane of our existence. We want to try to keep as much moisture as we can within our skin and within the layers of our skin. So as with any step in your skincare routine, oils come in all shapes and sizes, and the price range also varies. I think at the end of the day, it's just important to look for ingredients that work best for your skin. For example, I know Squalane works beautifully for my skin. There's also jojoba and marula that works the same on my skin type. So if you want some brand recommendations, Good Molecules has a really good Squalane oil. The Ordinary has a cold pressed marula oil, and Go-To's Face Heroes, one of my current favorites. I use it at night after my moisturizer, and I wake up with the dewiest, glowiest complexion that I just haven't really seen in a really long time. So in Face Hero, there's almond oil, jojoba, macadamia, Brazil nut, apricot kernel, evening primrose, and rosehip. So all of these are also great standalone oils, but when it's formulated all together, it really helps take the guessing game out of all of it. And combined, it's just chef's kiss. Beautiful formula. And last but not least, always wear sunscreen. So as most of us know by now, sun damage is the #1 cause of aging. And for those of us who have drier skin to begin with, we're already lacking in natural oils. Therefore, our skin is more prone to be drier, and dried skin leads to more premature fine lines and aging. So it's even more important to apply SPF. But especially for those of us who have drier skin types, it helps prevent the breakdown of collagen and elastin, which are all worsened by UV rays and the free radicals in the sun rays. So Phil and I talk about this all the time, is that find a sunscreen that works for you, the texture, the sensorial smell, whether it has a smell, whether it doesn't have a smell. The most important thing is to apply it daily. So if you find one that you love and you just gravitate towards all the time, then just use that. And I think at the end of the day, that is what's most important. So applying sunscreen and reapplying throughout the day as needed. Moving on to skin hydration and boosting tips. Chemical exfoliation can be our friend. We all love chemical exfoliants and the glowing effect it gives our skin when we learn how to use it for our own skin. And with a bunch of the super gentle forms being formulated in recent products, it makes using our favorite AHAs even better and less confusing. For example, lactic acid exfoliates and it's also hydrating, so it's not all about shedding and dryness like people often talk about. So on top of AHAs and BHAs, we want to introduce you to our new friends LHA and PHA. Both can do the job of ever so gently resurfacing the skin without potentially irritating effects that a stronger chemical exfoliant may give, like if you're using glycolic acid for the first time, as it is the smallest in molecular weight and may cause irritation. Seeing LHA and PHA formulated together in a product is pretty new for us, and something I've been trying is Neogen's Wine Lift PHA Gauze Peeling Pad. So Neogen recently came out with these newly reformulated pads, which are made for sensitive skin types. So these are basically like a toner pad that also at the same time has exfoliating effects. So the main ingredients in this toning pad include grape wine, so the polyphenols from wine help revitalize and nourish skin that is stressed and fatigued. And it also includes berries like blackberry, raspberry, blueberry fruit extract to help firm the skin. It also has PHA, AHA in the form of lactic acid, glycolic, tartaric, BHA, salicylic acid, and LHA, which is rich in antioxidants. And there's also peptides, which we know is great for plumping up the skin. It sounds like there's a lot, but it's formulated in a way that's very gentle for those with even sensitive skin. So this toning pad is pretty unique. There's a little pocket for your fingers, and there's one side that is the gauze side, and another side is a more quilted and puffy side. So the first step is to use the gauze side and glide it across your face in gentle circular motions all over a clean and dry face. You can also work it down to your neck. Then you flip the gauze over to the other side that is more soft and quilted and swipe across across the face to pick up any debris that could potentially have come up from, gently exfoliating with the gauze. So think of this as your chemical exfoliating step in your routine. You can follow it with your toner, serums, and moisturizers, oils, and SPF if it's in the morning. So on top of the wine toning pad, there's also a couple of different ones, including the Calming Cica Tree Pad and the Green Tea Moist PHA Gauze Peeling. So the Neogen Calming Cica Pad, it's a fine microfiber pad that contains concentrated essence while providing gentle exfoliation. There's of course Cica, tea tree, aloe, as well as Hortunia cordata, which are all very soothing and hydrating ingredients. There's also 5 different types of ceramides and 9 types of hyaluronic acid, which makes it super nourishing and super hydrating, especially for dry skin types. Ceramides are our best friends, and hyaluronic acid they really can benefit any skin type. So this could be a toning pad that you would leave onto your face as some sort of a sheet mask versus something like this one, the peeling gauze, where you would actually just use it and wash off. And as with the whole line, it's formulated with both forms of PHA, which is a very gentle form of chemical exfoliant. So for some of us, we may be thinking our skin is already pretty dry, it's already flaky. Do I want to use a chemical exfoliant? Is it going to make it worse? The answer, as we just went through, is that it really comes down to the type of chemical exfoliants that you're using. Some are definitely more gentler than the others. And I've learned over time that at least a weekly dose of chemical exfoliation that's gentle can help my skin stay in its best and tip-top shape. We generally think of the standard replenishing and watery consistency ingredients like hyaluronic acid, green tea, and snail mucin, but this tip is to use a clay mask combo. How this works is to first use a gentle clay like white clay, also known as kaolin clay, which works well for all skin types. It's especially great for drier skin like mine because it's less drying and doesn't leave the skin feeling overly stripped of our already lacking oils. And this is very important to look out for when you're looking at the ingredients. See if the clay is supported with nourishing oils to balance the skin while it's on your face, because clay in general is pretty drying, but if it's formulated well with nourishing oils, it can be really beneficial for even those of us who have drier skin. So one mask that I've been loving, Fel even loves this, is Pure Heal's Centella 65 Tea Pack. This is a beautiful clay mask that is super soothing and calming, and it incorporates 65% of Centella asiatica extract. You can see in the mask that there are green tea leaf flakes, and all of this works together to really soothe, draw out impurities, and hydrate. So how to use this is apply enough on your face, leave on for 10 to 15 minutes, and then rinse off. A tip is that before you rinse off, you can use a face towel that has warm water to gently press against your face to warm up and loosen up the clay, which then makes it easier to rinse off. So another tip that I have is that when you think of clay mask, I like to think of it having 3 different stages. The first stage is when you first apply the clay mask on. It is still damp. The minerals in the clay, it's working well with your skin and everything is working in harmony. Then the clay starts to dry. This phase is also pretty good, but as soon as the clay is becoming really dry, it will eventually reach a point where it's sucking more moisture away from your skin into the clay. So before it gets to that stage, I make sure to always look at what's the minimum required time on any clay mask product, and I'll either keep it on for the 10 minutes or even lower, like maybe around 8 minutes. I'll start checking my face. If it's already starting to get tight, I'll just wash it off right away. And this is now. Before, I'd leave it on till every part of it is dry, including my cheeks. And when I rinse it off, my face will feel a lot more taut than it feels moisturized. So just something to keep in mind. So with this clay mask combo, the first step is to use a clay mask to suck out all the impurities that you have lingering in your skin. The second step is with the sheet mask to bring back moisture onto your skin. So there's many sheet masks out there. I'll just say one really quickly in passing. So this is Isntrie's Hyaluronic Acid Deep Moisture Water Mask. It is a gel mask, and Isntree does have many different masks. There's a calendula one with a bamboo fiber, as well as egg white to help adhere to your skin. There's a gauze, mugwort one, and this one is a gel mask. And very similar to the toner, it also has 5 types of hyaluronic acid in different molecular weights to make sure that it reaches every layer of your skin. So in general, when it comes to sheet masks, especially ones that comes in like the cotton material, is if you leave it on for too long, it'll actually work very similarly to the clay mask, where it'll draw moisture from your skin as opposed to delivering moisture into your skin. The good thing about gel masks is that they don't dry out as quickly as sheet masks, but even then, I think it's good to look at the recommended time on the backs of the package. This one is recommended for 10 to 20 minutes. So when it comes to masks, I generally like going for the maximum unless I feel like the mask is getting dry or that my skin is feeling dry. If there's any ounce or any feeling sensation that the mask is drying too quickly or that my skin is feeling a bit taut, I'll just take it off or I'll just wash it off. This goes with any product that I use on my face. If it is drying, it's going off. So again, the first step is the clay mask. The second step is a sheet mask of your choice. And of course, anytime after you use a sheet mask, it basically takes the place of, let's say, a serum. So just make sure they're rich, thick cream. Apply that nicely afterwards. Double masking is one of my favorite ways to wind down in self-care. So if you have some extra time in your evenings or even in your daytime throughout your day, now that we're home a lot more, find the time to take care of yourself. This can be a weekly treat for your skin, and your skin will absolutely thank you. So moving on to our third tip, this is layers of damp skin inspired by James Welsh. So the way you would do with this is get a mist toner that you love. First, spritz on a layer of this mist, then put on your serum, spritz on more layers of this mist, then put on your moisturizer and spritz on even more layers of this mist. Or you can even spritz the mist into your serum or into your moisturizer to really help give it that boost of hydration and that boost of dampness and moisture. So how this works is that it's really delivering extra hydration to every single step of your skincare routine to make sure that by the time you put on a moisturizer or buy an oil that you're really trapping in those many layers of dampness. And damp as a word, it sounds kind of funny, but it is something that we can benefit from. And very similar to this, there's also a trend going around that's called 7 skin. So you're basically layering on 7. It can be 3, it can be 5, it can be 7, it can be 10, just layering many layers of toner onto your skin. And generally the toners that we will be using are the more watery ones that absorbs relatively quickly into your skin. If the toner is already pretty goopy to begin with, if you add on 7 layers, your face is just gonna turn into a little swan pond monster. And make sure the toners that you're using for this 7 skin method is a hydrating toner and not a chemical exfoliant, because we don't want to burn off our face at all. One other hack is that instead of spritzing something on your face throughout the day when it gets dry, because whenever I do that, I actually find that my skin gets even drier because of transepidermal water loss, I would opt to go for something like the serum stick for Tatcha and glide it over the areas of my face where it gets most dry, for example, under my eyelids, over my cheeks, or just any dry spots that I have on my face. And I find that this, like a little bit of this goes a long way, and it definitely works a lot better than spraying something on my face, because all skin is not created equal. What can work for most other people doesn't really work for me. So that's just one thing I found that works best for me, is that if I want to replenish the hydration on my skin throughout the day, or if I find my skin starting to get really dry or just uncomfortable throughout the day, a serum stick is the way to go. The fourth tip is you don't need to wash your face in the morning if you have drier skin. Water on a cotton pad can do the trick. Cleansing waters are also great. I've been loving Fresh's kombucha cleansing water, as well as Round Lab's toner water. So the idea behind this, again, is that because we have drier skin, our skin doesn't produce as many oils, which means overnight, we don't have too much we need to wash off. And even if we do want to kind of freshen up a little, a splash of water can do the trick, or cleansing waters can also do a great job. So this is something that I've been personally trying, especially since last year, when we've all been staying home a lot more than we ever have previously. And over time, I have found that splashing my face with water in the morning, or even using a cleansing water, has worked just as beautifully as actually washing my face. So the key here is just to be mindful to not overwash or to overstrip the skin, our skin, that's already lacking in natural oils. I think that's just the key to everything that we've been saying today. Our skin is already very dry to begin with. No need to make it even worse. And the last tip is, do not forget the most delicate areas on our face, including our under eye and just our eyes in general, and our lips. So for eyes, there's eye cream, and I found that As I age, this is something that I didn't really think too much about when I was younger, but now I find that when my skin is dry, especially the overnight trick, if I use moisturizer at night, when I test to see whether it's still there in the morning or if my skin feels dry, I can usually tell by the fine lines around my eyes, and when I kind of go like this, if the area around my eye is still beautiful and plump and hydrated, then I'm good to go. But if it is getting dry, then this is when I know, like, ooh, this moisturizer might not be enough for me. So just give a little more attention to the under eye area and make sure it's well taken care of. As for lips, my lips do get as dry as the rest of my face and the rest of my body. And what I try to do is that before bed, I will put something on. It doesn't matter if it's like a chapstick, a pawpaw ointment, or like anything that I have laying around. I make sure to have some sort of a lip product by my bedside table so that when I go to bed, I see it. And even if I'm already in bed already, I can just reach for it right next to me, put it on, and go to bed. And I know this is oversaid, but make sure you drink enough water, make sure you're hydrating yourself, make sure you're eating properly, make sure you're sleeping enough, getting enough rest. And with that, these have been my current go-to tips and tricks for drier skin, for dehydrated skin, especially over the winter time. If you have any go-to tips yourself, please leave them down below. So the dry skin fam, we can all learn from each other. We can all benefit from shared information, because dry skin is not fun, and to walk around like a raisin, it is not ideal. And with all of that, thank you so much again to Neogen for sponsoring this video. We'll see you in the next one.